here is the world premiere of The Jump's newest show within a show, The Sons of Anarchy. Tommy, take it away.
That's in Philly. I know that.
Greta, made an appearance on the show.
I am so happy right now. Oh, and the music is perfect.
Good.
Perfect. And what a lovely time to talk about the Suns on a 4-game winning streak for the first time in 4 seasons.
Hold up. Say that again?
4 games, the first time in 4 seasons.
Road wins.
They have won 4 games in a row.
What?
Oh, do you not know how bad it has been down there? Are you under the illusion?
I didn't know it was awful.
Devin Booker scoring 25 points, handing out 8 assists. Deandre Ayton, 23 and 18.
I'll tell you, that is the difference right there. Booker, since he's come back from injury, has been playing great basketball. But Deandre Ayton has stepped his game up and playing out of his mind over the last couple of weeks. And that's what I expected. That's why I had him pick Rookie of the Year, because I thought he was going to put these type of numbers up. I am so surprised in Devin Booker's career. This is the first time he's won 4 games in a row.
He has been on an island. Can you be on an island in the desert? Whatever that is, whatever the equivalent of that is. No oasis in sight.
So
it has been
they're
a tough...
trending up.
The thing that's been the most important about this has been Ayton's production.
Yes.
But the reason they've played so much better is because of their defense. They've been right there at the top. You can see from this graphic, they've been right there at the top during this win streak. You know, it's interesting because they've gotten rid of 2 of the guys who theoretically were their better defensive players, Tyson Chandler, who certainly helped the Lakers defense when he got there, and Trevor Ariza, who's being paid $15 million a year, mostly for his defense, and they have gotten better at that.
I thought whoever had Trevor Ariza, it was a magic ingredient.
Well, that was not the case in Houston last night, Rachel. I don't know if you saw that yet.
I did.
The more interesting story, though, I know we're talking about Phoenix, but it's who they played last night. Boston.
It makes it a big win.
In Boston.
Yeah.
Devin Booker scored 70 points when they played in Boston last year, and they didn't win.
Right. I remember that. Exactly. And then he was taking pictures in the locker room, and people were like, you didn't win. Well, this time they won. I do want to just recap, though, because there's been a 4-game winning streak. You know Greta, of course, was speaking out against the arena, so they've had that whole fiasco going on for the past couple week and a half. And then, of course, with the trade that wasn't that was, that's how you have Sons of Anarchy, because... You know, I love that Robert Sarver is in there.
Here she is.
And Greta. Oh, we love it. This is amazing. This is going to run all the time this season.
Keep going,
because,
young fellas.
You know, it's a trade, and then it wasn't a trade, and then it was a trade. And then
they cut the guy that they traded for.
And so there's still a lot going on. That franchise is doing a lot, and we will continue to talk about them as we go. But shout out for doing well. As we always say on the show, we talk about when you don't do well. We will make sure to always still talk about you when you do well, and this is good for the Phoenix Suns. Let's focus now on the other side of that game, though, because, Tracy, you just brought it up. Celtics were the ones losing to the Phoenix Suns at home. How worried should Celtics fans be?
I think they should be worried. This team has lost their mojo, and I don't know if it's their defensive efficiency, offensively, they don't look the same. I don't know this. I thought 30 games into the season, I would see the team that I seen last year, and that hasn't been quite the answer. And I'm afraid that they won't get it together. And I think it may be because they have too much pressure on them, you know, to really duplicate what they did last year and exceed past that because of they have everybody back healthy. I don't know what's going on with them. They don't seem the same.
When they had that really good win streak, they were playing great offense, but they also were taking advantage of a soft portion of their schedule. Their schedule intensifies. You mentioned that they're playing the Bucks on this network. It's starting tomorrow. Look at their schedule coming up. And they've got a road trip. There's actually, and if you add one more to that, they play the Spurs at the end of that 3-game trip. So they've got some challenging games coming up. And their offensive rhythm has been off. Last night down the stretch of that game, they were not able to get into the offense the way that they had during that winning streak. And so we will learn a lot more between now and the new year about whether that little flourish was real or that was a product of easy schedule.
Well, the Boston Globe today ran a column saying it is time for Danny Ainge to make a trade. Do you expect it? Now, we know he wants to keep his basic war chest intact for this summer. So I don't expect him to do anything major, but do you expect a little tweaking moves here or there?
I mean, I would expect the Celtics to, always look at opportunities, But as far as giving away any of the potential 4 first-round picks that they have, Jaylen Brown, I think they're waiting for developments in New Orleans.
Yeah. Man, you're just right back there again.
Sorry.
There you go. I mean,
the Celtics. You think the Lakers have a whiteboard? The Celtics have 3 whiteboards.
They all have Anthony Davis's name at the top.
Right.
I will say we are still waiting to see whether Gordon Hayward becomes the player he was in Utah again, or if it's just a situation where an injury has robbed him of a percentage of what he was. If you get that Gordon Hayward back toward the end of this regular season going into the playoffs, it's like having made a trade. So,
well, again, I mean, it took PG
that's what I mean.
a full season before he got back to himself. So.
Right. So you could be making a trade without making a trade.
Of it. He's had some moments.
Yeah. It's just he's not I'm giving him a little more credit. I think he's still a better player than we've seen so far.